Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Good evening. So, yesterday we did about algorithms, right? Algorithm and flowchart. Did you go through that thing? Any doubts? Any doubts anybody is having? And we also had gone for operating system also. So today we wanted to start concept of programming language, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So in computers, you need to communicate or you need to write some instructions to the system. So for that reason, you require a programming language, right? You need to write some programs and give instructions to the computer. So for that reason, a programming language is used to design and describe a set of instructions or actions for the computation that we wish to be executed by the computer, right? So first and foremost, we made an algorithm, right, for a particular problem to be solved, right? After the algorithm, which is also known as kind of a pseudocode, we need to write the program. Now program should be in a particular language, right? So earlier was machine language, that was binary, but nowadays languages are high level languages, so they are a similar structure as English language, but they have their own syntax. Now what does syntax means is that they have their own grammar, and the way of writing a program is different for every language. C has some syntax, C++ some difference in certain functions and all is there. Then Python has a different kind of a syntax. So how to write a program, every language has a different kind of a style or syntax or grammar, right? So though you have to they provide the syntax provides the structure and semantic provides the meaning to it. That means the grammar part, it provides the meaning, and the syntax provides the structure. How do you write a computer program, right? So there are different advantages and disadvantages of everything. So we are not talking about this. Syntax is always comprises the grammar and vocabulary. Everything is there. You don't need to know about that. We are talking about now elements of programming language. What are the different elements of programming language? So whenever you are learning a programming language, first and foremost thing you should know what is a variable, what is a constant, data type, array, expression, all these things. So first and foremost we go to what is a variable. Like yesterday in algorithm we were declaring I or A or B or whatever, or remainder or product. We were declaring some kind of words or alphabet. So like in normal maths, you must have, when you are studying in your schools, so you must be studying maths. So there also we take some assumption as x and y and something like that. So same way here also in programming language we take some assumptions of a variable. A variable is a storage location which will keep the value in it, right? So what is a variable? Variable will be a storage location which will contain a value which either you can input or you can initialize the value in that variable.
Ma'am, variable is used
Right.
to store the data.
Yeah, it is generally to store the data only. So it can be input by the user or it can be initialized by the programmer. Can be anything, right? But so the value in the variable, because variable words comes from vary, right? So vary means the value will can keep on changing in the variable. Value can keep on changing, right? That's why it is known as a variable. The value can be changed in a variable. But when we talk about constants, the constants have fixed value. That means once you have declared a variable, a constant, that means that constant variable will contain a value which will not be changed in the program. Do you understand? Constant is also a storage location variable kind of a thing, but constant means that it will remain constant, stable, it will not change. Right? So variable is changeable, constant remains the same, like pi. The pi's value is 3.14, right? So you cannot change that value, right? Right? It will not,
Yes.
it should not change.
Yes.
So that value will be a constant. Right? Now we come to data type. What is a data type? Now, suppose I am taking any variable A, B, C, whatever name I can give, there is naming convention for the variable. That name should start with a letter. Whenever you are naming a variable, it should start with a letter, right? It should not start with a number. It should start with a letter. It can start with, in some programming language, it can start with an underscore also, but there should not be any space in the variable name. They should not start with a number. They should start with a letter or underscore, right? And it can be up to 256 characters. Do you understand the rules for writing a variable name? But such a long variable name we don't write actually, because such a long variable name if we write, then our program will be problematic for us, right? So we write small names, like if we are taking basic salary, so some people write BS or B underscore S, something like that, or basic salary also some people write. Like I am taking three, if I want sum of three numbers, so I take A and B as two numbers and sum as the another variable where I calculate the sum. So simple names I am taking. Right. You can add numbers also with the names, but that should be after the first alphabet. You can add anywhere the number, but first should not be a number. So that is the rules of naming a variable. When we talk about data type, now variable, you have suppose A, B, C, D, whatever variable name you have taken, you want that you want the programming language has a restriction that it should know that what kind of variable you have declared. What kind? Kind means whether it is a number, whether it is a character, what kind of type you are declaring. So you have to declare first that this A is an integer. So there are certain data types which are numeric data types, like integer, float, decimal. There are in many programming language different data types are there, right? So those data types will be numeric. That means related to numbers. Integer is whole numbers, and float is decimal point numbers. So these kinds of things you can declare, right? And there are non-numeric data types also, like string or character, right? For alphabets you declare string or character. You have to tell that in this variable there will be string or there will be a character. So those data types are known as non-numeric data type. There is Boolean also. One of the data type is bool. So where you can define true or false value. Boolean always take either true or false. So that is also non-numeric. So there are different types of data types. So you have to declare that what kind of variable you are taking, what is the data type of that variable. So that is type of data. What type of data it is. So that is your data type. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So here they are giving you what is a variable. A referencing memory by its physical address is very tedious. Variable names are used. So basically, if generally we go in binary form, so we have to reference to the actual address in binary or right. But we can't do that always now. So we need to name that particular address location. So we give a name to a variable. So it is a symbolic name given to a memory location basically. So where your variable will be stored, or a value will be stored. So in C, when you are declaring a variable, how do you declare? Suppose you are declaring an integer variable, data type is int. So you will for integer data type is int space first variable is A, comma, second variable is B. So both A and B are integer type variables. Do you understand? Then char is a character variable, right? For declaring if you want that this variable should have character values. So char space C. So C will contain character values, single character alphabet, you can say. For that it is char. Right, so this way you declare a variable, right, and these are the names you have given to the variable A, B, C, right? So they will be, they will be for integer location values, and this will be for character location values. And each, suppose you have declared int A, B, so integer say takes some bytes, like it takes I don't know, maybe 2 bytes, and character takes some bytes. Difference in bytes is also there, right? So that is also there. So how many bytes they take, that also depends. Then we talked about constant, in contrast to a variable which is used as an identifier for a value and which can change. Constant are identifiers that are used for values which cannot be changed. So what are identifiers? Identifiers are variables and constants only, which identify a particular value. But in variable, the value can change, but in constant, the value cannot be changed. Do you understand? This is the difference between both. Right. So you can take any value, and in C, if you want to declare a constant, you have to write this keyword, CONST, const keyword. What are keywords in a programming language? Keywords are special words which you cannot take as a variable name, right? They mean something in the programming language, like if, const, int, char. These are special words inside your C language. So you cannot take it as a variable name. So those are known as keywords. So this const, yes.
Constant, where we have practically where we use constant, we can use only variable, na? Why we use
Why won't you
constant?
use constant if you want to use a pi value? You want that
Then
it should not be, suppose it should not be changed, then you will use constant.
but if you want to use the pi value, we can give a
Suppose
equals
in your
3.14.
program you want certain variable to be fixed. The value should not change in that variable. Then what will you do?
Okay, okay, but we can just not doing anything with that variable.
That is one kind of a thing. You don't do anything with that variable, but still, if in certain way you don't remember that you are using, you don't have to use that variable, the value should remain the same, and you use that later on. Maybe you will forget. I'm just saying. So there is a medium that you make it fixed so that in the later part of the program also it will not let you change the value.
And we can do that also with the string values.
Yes, with the
Okay.
string also, with the integers also, every value can be made string.
And can we do that with
Constant.
the float values?
With what?
Float.
Yeah, with float also you can do. 3.14 if you are declaring pi is a what?
Yes.
Floating
It's a
Is a
point.
float.
okay.
Any value you can make it a constant. With the const keyword. This is the keyword in C which is used for making a constant, right? Then we talked about data type. So data type, I told you that anything that is processed by a computer is called data. So there are different types of data, right? You have numeric, you have non-numeric, different types of data are there. So to tell the computer that for this variable, the data type is integer, float, double, char, what kind of data it is. So these are the different data types you have. There are more data types, but they are just explaining to you just the terms, right? When you go to the second semester, you will learn C language in the second semester. So there you will learn what are the different data types in C. Right, so general form they have given that there is int for both signed and unsigned integers. It takes 2 bytes in memory. And floating point numbers, that is decimal point numbers, it takes up to 4 bytes in size it is. And double this floating point number, the precision doubles. That means point value is more than float. Then it is double. You can take it in double, which is of 8 bytes, 64 bits. And character type size is 1 byte, that is 8 bits. So it takes 1 character, right? So these are the different data types. So data types also you have to define for a variable. Then we talked about array. So I have explained yesterday also what is an array. Array is a collection of similar data types, right? So when you have large amount of related data, same kind of data, related data, large amount, like we want 20, 30, 100 students data to be marks to be stored. So what happens, you will not keep on having 100 variable declaration for 100 students. You will make it as an array, one name with different index locations. The different A0 will contain first value, A1 will contain second value. The index value starts from 0. So that is known as an array. So array is a set of elements of the same data type. I told you it is a collection of similar data types that can be individually referenced by an index. So each value in the array will be referenced by an index number, which starts with the 0, and all contiguous memory locations will be there. What does contiguous mean? Say continuous memory locations will be there. So from 0 to 20, if you have declared array as 20, so 0 to 19 memory locations will be there, indexes will be there, right? So generally we talk about, there are 2 kinds of arrays, one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, right? So what is one-dimensional array? That means you only have one kind of, one row or one column. That is one-dimensional. Do you understand? Either one row or either one column, whatever you can say, column or row, only one. That is a one-dimensional array. So it is a structured collection of elements that can be accessed individually by specifying the position of a component with index. So normal array where you have declared 20 student marks have to be kept. So A in square brackets 20, that will be a single dimension array or one-dimensional array. So you have to write here the type, data type of here, then the name of the array, and in square bracket you have to write how many elements. That means 20, 30, how many elements you want to declare. So like if you want that you want to have a marks array of 5 students. So int is the data type, marks is the name of the array, and in square bracket 5 is the number of elements in the array. So marks 0, 0th location you have 50, 1th location you have 70, 2th location you have 18, 3th location you have 90, and 4th location you have 63. So these are the index numbers through which you access the value from the array, right? So this is a one-dimensional array, right? When we talk about two-dimensional array, so two-dimensional means it is a kind of a table, a collection of row and column. Do you understand? Like a matrix. If you have studied, somebody has studied in 12th or something math. So like a matrix, a table form, it will have row and column format. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So two-dimensional arrays are like matrices where rows and columns are there. So suppose if you want, you will have a data type, then the name of the array, then the rowth elements and the columnth elements. The first square bracket element is the row, the second square bracket elements are the columns. Right. So if I'm saying int A33 in square bracket, that means 3 by 3, 3 rows and 3 columns. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
That is a
Ma'am,
two-dimensional.
can you zoom a little bit?
Yeah. Right. So this is a This is a 3 by 3 matrix. That means row is 3, column is 3. Right? First one will always be row. Now, how do you name the index numbers in this is 0th row, 0th column. Right? 0th row, 1th column, 0th row, 2th column. Do you understand?
Yes.
Then 1th row, 0th column, 1th row, 1th column, 1th row, 2th column. Because your index will start from 0, that's what we are doing. Then 2th row, 0th column, 2th row, 1th column, 2th row, 2th column. This is how you name your, or indices are given. So here one value will be there, A00 location one value will be there, A01 location one value will be there, A02 location one value will be there. Right, then A10 value will be there, A11 value will be there, A12 value will be there, A20 value will be there, 21 value will be there, 22 value will be there. So how many elements will be in a 3 by 3 matrix or 3 by 3 array?
9.
9.
9, right? 3 into 3 is what? 3 3s are
9.
9 elements, right? So that is a 2-dimensional array. Do you understand arrays now? You don't have to program anything, they're just explaining you. Just the definitions you should know. So in a 2-dimensional array, it is just like a table where there are rows and columns. Just remember that. Row, column. Right. Then when we talk about expression, expression means what in maths? Expression means what in maths? Your calculation, na? You are calculating some expression.
Yes, symbols.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, A into B into C or plus A plus D or something like that. This is an expression or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So expression will have a combination of variables, constants, operators. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So there are different types of operators also. What are operators? Operators
Plus, minus.
are the
Plus.
things which you calculate the expression. Are required to calculate the expression. Like what type of expression may contain arithmetic operators, relational operators, and logical operators. Right? So what are arithmetic operators? Do you know? Arithmetic operators are your plus, minus, multiply, divide, modulus, like we talked about, right? And
Right.
what are relational operators if we talk about? Do you know what is relation? When we want to say that A is equal to B, we want to compare two
Comparison.
values. Yeah, when we want to compare two values, comparison operators are relational operators are also known as comparison operators. So when we want to compare two values, A is equal to B, A is greater than B, A is less than B, greater than equal to B. So those are your relational operators. Do you understand? Greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, double equal to, not equal to. Right? Relational, comparison. When we talk about logical operators, what are those? Which create a logic between two set of variables. Like two conditions, you can say. Like and, or, and not. We'll talk about that. What does and, or, and not do in logic, right? So these are the three operators they are given, but one more operator is there that is known as assignment operator. What is assignment operator? Equal to. Equal to is your assignment operator. Do you understand? Because we assign a value by telling that A is equal to this value. Do you understand?
Or we can say assumption values as well. Like if we assume,
not assumption. We are not assuming, we are assigning a value to that variable.
okay.
Assignment means what? You give a value, you are giving this value to that location, you are inputting or assigning that value in that variable. Do you understand?
Okay.
So temp, the equal to symbol is your assignment operator. So like they have given an example, temp is equal to 5. That means you are assigning the variable temp with the value 5. Or temp is equal to temp plus 1. So you are assigning, now the value of temp will become 6, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, after addition. So equal to is an assignment operator, right? So to solve a problem or to express an expression, you always have equal to. Whenever you have to write an expression like sum is equal to a plus b, if you are writing sum is equal to a plus b, you are writing the expression a plus b is calculated and the value is assigned to the sum by equal to. Do you understand? So that will be your expression always. So that is one of the operators is assignment also. Then when we were talking about arithmetic operators, you have addition, plus, minus, multiplication, division. See modulus, modulo. Percentage symbol is the modulus symbol, which divides two numbers, but it does not give you the quotient. It gives you the remainder. Always remember that. This percentage symbol is not that percentage which you calculate for your marks. This is a modulo symbol or modulus symbol which divides two numbers and gives you the remainder, not the quotient. And this division, the slash, this division is what? This actually gives you the quotient. Do you understand? The symbols you should know. Plus symbol, minus symbol, all of you know that plus and minus are what symbol. But multiplication is asterisk, slash is division, modulus is your remainder. Right? Double plus symbol is increment by 1, double minus symbol is decrement by 1. Decrement operator and increment operator. Right? They are also arithmetic operators. Right? Any problems? Right, so if I say x is equal to y plus z, what does that mean? That y and z are added and the value is stored in x.
Yes.
Right? Then I plus plus, what does that mean? I is incremented by 1. I is equal to I plus 1. This means that. Right? Then when I say y is equal to x modulo 2, that means x is divided by 2 and the remainder is stored in y. Yes? So sometimes they may ask you in the exam also or in your assignment also to explain this expression or explain this thing. So you should know these operators and all to explain. Do you understand?
Yes.
Right. Then we are talking about logical, relational and equality. These are also your operators. First we talk about the relational operators or the comparison operators. They are equal to. First is equal to. See. Single equal to here was what? Assignment operator, na? When we talked about here, single equal to was assignment operator.
Yes.
So we cannot say, when we are saying that A is equal to B, yeah, when we say A is equal to B, if I say A is equal to B, then what will happen? Can
That
anybody
means
tell?
we are assuming A is B. What?
No assumption is there. Assumption is not there and no assumption is there. Don't think like that. Suppose I have given A is 5 and B is 6, right? And I say in my expression that A is equal to B. If I say this statement, then what will it give me?
Value of B is assigned to A.
Yes.
We are putting
That
his
means that
value
A
in
will
A.
become 6.
Yes.
Yes. But
Yes, ma'am.
for comparison, you will not give equal to, because comparison means whether A is double equal to is applied. Then it will compare whether A is equal to B. 5 is equal to 6.
No.
Right. So here for comparison, double equal to is applied for equality. Do you understand? Single equal to will not be there. That is assignment. That will assign the value to A. But here, when you want to compare the value or relational operator you want, then relationship, then you want to say A is equal to B. That means double equal to symbol you have to give. These are two equal symbols, right? When you say not equal to, exclamation mark and equal to means not equal to. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Symbols, remember the symbols. Less than, you all of you know less than symbol, less than equal to, greater than equal to. These you know, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Any problems in this?
Ma'am, can you
Right.
example
Yeah.
for not equal to? Not equal to.
Not equal to, here is your example. If I say here that A is not equal to B, then
It's
true or
true.
false?
It's true, ma'am.
A is not equal to B, na, here. True, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the example. What else example should we give? Your answer will be either true or false. Whatever you are comparing, your answer will be what?
True or false?
True or false. Suppose here you have to give a condition and give the condition like this. If is the conditional construct. If A not equal to B, then what? Then what you have to do, right? Then what you have to do? So that will be your true part. If A is not equal to B is true, then this will happen. Else A is not equal to B is false, then this will happen. This is how we make in programming language we do. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So whatever you are comparing, the answer will be, if it is true, then this will happen. If it is false, then this will. That means it gives you either true or false answer. Right? So this is what your comparison or relational operators. Then when we come to logical operators, this is double ampersand is and, double pipe symbol is or, and single exclamation is not. Do you understand? See the symbols.
Yes,
See
ma'am.
here what is written, relational expression result in one of the truth value either true or false. See, I have already told you, na, they give either true or false, right? Now, first and foremost, we should understand what is a AND logical operator. So when we talk about AND, always remember, first I write the truth table of AND. I'm just giving you an example. Right. Suppose you have two variables, one is X, the other is Y. Right? Two conditions you can say, or two variables you can say, X and Y, right? There will be two conditions, in between you have to have and or you can apply. And if I want to find X and Y, then what will it give me? So see, you should always see this. If X is true and Y is true, then X and Y will give me what? True. If X is true, Y is false,
False.
then this will give me false. Right? Then X is false, Y is true,
False.
this will again give me false. And if X is false, Y is false, this will give me false again. So, for the AND operator, only in one case it will be true, that is if both
are
the
true.
conditions or both the variables are true, then it will give me true. Do you understand?
Yes.
And if any one of the condition is false, it will give me false.
Okay.
This is the truth table of AND. Or suppose if we see in our book, is that suppose this is this evaluate this. See x is 1. What is x?
1.
X value is 1 and y value is 3. Can you see that? Let x
Yes.
is 1 and y is 3. So x value is 1, y value is 3. Now it is saying x is less than 2. Is x less than 2?
Yes.
True.
Yes,
This is true.
Yes.
Now AND operator is in between, then y is greater than 3. Is y greater than 3? 3 is greater than 5.
No, ma'am.
No.
False.
No.
Yes? This is false now.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
What will true and false give me? True and
False.
false will give me
False.
what?
False.
So they have written here wrongly. Don't see this. They have written wrongly. So this is how you evaluate a logical operator. Do you understand?
Yes.
So this is what AND operator
Yeah.
does. It will only be true if both the statements will be true. If this would have been y less than 5, right? If this would have been y less than 5, then this is also true, this is also true. So true and true will become true. Yes?
Yes, right.
Right. So suppose, for example, if I say if A is greater than B and A is greater than C. Suppose I have given A's value as 20, B's value as 10 and C's value as 5, right? These are the values, right?
Okay.
So suppose I'm just giving you an example, right? So now A is greater than B, 20
Yes.
is greater than 10.
That is
So
true.
this is true. And 20 is greater than 5.
True. Again true.
True. So if both are true, then this will be taken, or you can say here the answer will be A is greater.
Yes.
Right. So this kind of a comparison, if you want to make, then you need to use a logical operator like AND, if you want. Right. Now, when we talk about OR, now we go to OR. So if I am talking about OR operator, so OR is not ampersand, it is pipe symbol. And where is your pipe symbol in your computer? Above the enter key. With shift it comes, above the enter key is your pipe symbol. Okay? Right. So suppose now x and y are the two variables, and x or y you need to find out. So if x is true, y is true, x or y will be true. Right? If x is true, y is false, x and y will be true again. If x is false, y is true, then it will again be true. And if x is false, y is false, it will be false. So in all the condition, wherever it is either true, it will be true. Only in one condition it will be false, when both are false.
So it means either one of them should be true.
Yeah. Then OR condition applies. Right? Like suppose you want that in a program, you want to find the vowels, whether you have entered vowels or not. So A, E, I, O, U are all the vowels, right?
Yes.
So you want to see if A or E or I or U, so then OR operator will be applied, right? Any one of them is true, then it is a vowel. So that kind of a thing. You understand?
Yes.
Or so now for OR, have they given some example? No, they have not. No problem. Even if they have not given the example. Now, see here they are the equality relationship operator is used. X is equal to 1. Is x equal to 1? 1 is equal to 1. X is 1 now.
Yes, that is true.
So 1 is equal to 1. It evaluates to true. Right. Now not equal to. X not equal to y. X is 1, y is 3. Are they both equal or not equal?
Not equal.
Not equal, so it
that
should
is
come
true.
out to be true, na? Not false.
Yes.
See, don't look at the book. You have to find yourself what is the answer. Don't believe the book that what it is written is okay. Right, now see, x is 1 and y is 3. X is less than y.
Yes, it is less than
Yes,
y.
so it comes out to be true. So these are the comparisons which they are making. Now this not, what does not do? What does, if I have given here OR operator, what will happen? A is greater than B, true, right?
Yes.
And A is greater than C, that is also true. So it will run the true part only. Right? If I say here 30, right? Now A is greater than B is true.
But
Fine.
A is not greater than C.
But A is not greater than C. Then also it will turn out to be true only in OR. Yes or no? Any one condition should be true
Yes, for OR.
for OR. Right? So this is true. This is false. No problems. It will come to true only in OR. But in AND, if this would have been there, if this would have been there in AND, then what will happen? This is true, this is false. So it will go to
False.
the else part, false. Right, that is the thing. When we talk about the not thing, then only one variable is required in not two variables. It doesn't work on two conditions. Not works on only one condition. Remember that. Do you understand? Like and or both worked on two variables or two conditions. Not works on only one condition. So x is there. So not of x we need to find. So not of x is this. So if x is true, the not of x will become false. If x is false, not of x will become true. Do you understand? Opposite. That is not. Understood?
Okay.
If x is true, then not of x means false. If x is false, not of x means true. The opposite of that. That is not. Right? So this is not your logical not operator. Right? You understand the operators now?
Yes.
There are also bitwise operators also. This is and, this is or. Single ampersand is and bitwise operator. Single pipe symbol is or bitwise operator. This is exclusive or. This is shift left, shift right, and this is one's complement. See, you will not be able to understand this. Why? Because you need to know the number system in this. So now I tell you what will happen in this. Suppose they have given you this example. A2 is this, and 2 is A is 2, which is the value in binary this, and B is 5, which is the value in binary this. Right? Can you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just showing you. So they are saying A is 2. That means A has the value in binary as 8 bits if we are writing. So it is, this is the value, right? So this is the value for 2. 1 0 is the value, na? Before I have put 6 zeros, right? In 8 bits. And now B is equal to 5, right? B was 5. So that means B has the value in binary as 0 0 0 0, then 0 1 0 1. This is B. Do you understand?
Yes.
Right. Now if I say A and single ampersand B, that means bitwise operator has been applied, not logical operator. So what does AND operator do is, wherever there is 0, there 0 means false or off. Do you understand?
Yes,
What does 0 mean?
On.
False
Off.
or off. And what does 1 mean? True
On.
or
on.
on. Right? That, remember that. So both these values, if I write here 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0, this is A, and 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 1, this is 5. Right? If A and B I am calculating, so remember the truth table. Zeros, instead of true and false, you put zeros. False you put 0, true you put 1. So false will give you what? False?
Yes.
0, 0 gives you 0,
Zero.
0, 0 will give you 0, 0, 0, or either the in computer organization, what they tell you is you multiply the bits, right? So in AND or a bitwise operator AND, it does is it multiplies. So 0 into 0 is 0, 0 into 0 is 0, 0 into 0 is 0, 0 into 0 is 0.
1 into 0 is
here,
as well 0.
and here also 0 into 0 is 0. 1 into 0 is again
0.
0.
Again
Right?
0.
Then 1 into 0 is again 0, and then 0 into 1 is again 0. Right?
Yes.
So what is coming out to the value? Or 0. Yes, C, if it is C is equal to A bitwise operator B, then it multiplies the bits in the value bits, and the answer will be C is equal to what?
0.
0.
0. That are bitwise operators. Same way OR also, if you want to do OR, same way you can do OR also. OR means addition. OR means what?
Addition.
Addition. Like in this, it means multiplication. OR means addition. Addition. So that means 0 plus 0 is 0. This is 0. This will be
1.
1.
Last
And
all 3 digits will be 1.
This will also be 1. And this will also be 1. So 5 plus 2 is how much?
7.
7, na? So 1, 1, 1 is 7 only. Do you understand?
Yes.
So in OR operator, it adds the bits. In AND operator, bitwise operator, it multiplies the bits. Do you understand? The other one, you will not be able to. Hanji.
Like how we just added 5 and 2, it is 7, and the value come out to be 7. In the same case, in the last time, when we multiply 5 with 2, it comes 10. Then how is 0 the right answer?
See, that is a different kind of a thing, because what happens in multiplication is that the compute. One thing you remember, that this is not that kind of a multiplication, but in addition it will always come out to be the same thing. In multiplication it will not come out to be the same. Why? Because computer cannot multiply, divide. Do you know that? Computer can only add. It has only the circuit for adding. Do anybody know that? Computer cannot multiply like you can multiply. Computer cannot divide also. Do you know that?
No, I
It
didn't.
only has a circuit. It only has a circuit for
Only does
addition.
repeated additions and subtractions.
What?
Only does repeated additions and subtractions.
Subtraction also it doesn't do. It does complement. With complement, there is another circuit called complement, and addition and shift is another circuit. With these combinations, addition and complement, it does subtraction. Addition, complement and shift, it does multiplication and division. Right? So that you will learn when you go to the second semester. Right? So that's why multiplication will not come out to be the same, but addition will come out to be the same. Because computer cannot multiply normally like we do.
Understood.
Right? So do you understand these things? See, this shift left, shift right, they have not given you example, but they are bitwise operator. Exclusive OR is a bitwise operator, and one's complement, the tilde symbol is there. So with complement, it subtracts actually. So we will learn that in second semester. Just you should know that these are the bitwise operators, right? Then, when we talk about other things, are conditional and looping statements. When I talked about if, what is if? We were doing here if is a condition checking state, conditional construct, you can say, which checks the condition, right? So an if statement is composed of 3 parts. The first part should be the keyword, that is if, right, with respect to the language, to convey to the computer that it is if statement, and a Boolean expression. Boolean expression means your condition. This is a Boolean expression, right?
Yes.
Your condition, right? which needs to be checked, right? The second and third part can be the statement or group of statement as defined in the rules of grammar. That means the second and third part are, first is the true part. Here your true part will be there, right? And here else is your false part. This is your false part. This is the second and third part. Do you understand? So this is how you check the condition. Just like here, when I needed to check whether the number is even or odd, so what I did was I use modulus operator. So I will use the condition if n modulus 2, so the n will be the number, whatever number you have given to n. So n divided by 2 it will do, and the remainder will come out to be whatever here is equal to 0. If that remainder is equal to 0, this is the equality operator. Then printf number is even. Just hold on for a second.
गर्मी तो कुछ ज्यादा है यार।
Anji, sorry. So we were discussing that we wanted for condition checking we have if, right? So there is an n and we divide it by 2 and whatever remainder comes out to be is compared with 0, right? This is an equality operator. If it comes out to be 0, then what will be the true part? That number is
Even and a natural
even.
number.
Else the false part is also there in the condition, that is number is odd. So this is what your conditional construct is or condition checking statement is, that is if. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Then when we talk about looping statement, we have discussed it yesterday also, but still we are getting it. Loop means repetition of certain statements, repeating certain statements until the condition is satisfied, right? So for the loop you have different kinds of loops in C. You have for, you have while, you have do while, but here I don't know which loop is given. All the three loops have been given. Right. So what happens is you have a initial condition, right? Then execution of the statement inside the loop, then test the condition, then and again execute the statement if the condition is true. So basically what happens, like we did in the algorithm, right? We found the product of n natural numbers. So what we were doing is, first we wrote the set of statements that the product has to be found and value has to be initialized and whatever. Then we tested the condition that please mute your mic. So then we test the condition that n is equal to or less than equal to 20 or whatever the condition is checked, and then if it is true, it is less, then again the statements are being executed until the condition becomes false and it comes out of the loop. Do you understand? This goes on repetition. So you have for loop, while loop, do while loop. So in for loop, what happens is, like here, for I is equal to 0, that means you are initializing. I less than 20 is the condition. I plus plus is the increment decrement. I plus plus is increment, right? So if I is 0, so 0 is less than 20, yes, it will go inside and it will say printf I plus 1, that is location 1, and they are adding the value in S0 or location 0 in the array. So this was happening and continuously until 19 the value keeps on the values are kept on putting in the array and until the index number 19 is reached. So this is one kind of an array. The other same code if we write in while. So first we have to initialize the here initialization is done inside, condition is also given inside, and increment is also done in for circular bracket. But here in while, first you have to initialize I to 0, right? Then you have to write while and the condition is there, I less than 20. Then the opening brackets of the loops are there, opening and closing. And inside the thing, your statements are there, like sum is equal to sum plus si, or sum of values are calculated in an array, and the increment or decrement counter is also inside the statement and increment decrement. So this is for, this is while. Do you understand? These are looping constructs. So it keeps on adding the value of an array to the sum until it reaches 19. Repetition of statement until the condition is met, right? Any problems?
Ma'am, can you please repeat while loop?
See, loops are generally repetition of statements until your condition is fulfilled. Those are known as loops. And in C, there are three kinds of loops. First is for loop, second is while loop, third is do while loop. Right. So for whatever loop you are using, you should have a initializing thing, you should have condition, you should have increment decrement. Right. So in for circular bracket, everything is done. Initialization is done. I is initialized to 0 or assigned value 0. then condition semicolon condition is there. That means I less than 20 is the condition which you have to check. And semicolon I plus plus is increment or decrement, whatever you want to do. So here we are doing increment. So automatically one by one the value keeps on added in the array. Here the value is scanf means inputting the value in the array. S is the array, I is the index. I is first 0, that means index S0, index number 0, the value is put in that index. Then I becomes 1 because I plus plus means increment. I becomes 1, then it is compared, 1 is less than 20, yes. The S1 location the value is put. Then I becomes 2, that 2 is less than 20, yes. So S2 location the value is put. Then I becomes 3. Then 3 is less than 20, yes. Then S3 location the value is put. So this way you are repeatedly putting the values in the array until 19. The condition is met. Do you understand? This is how array works.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And same way, same thing. If we write same thing in while loop or different thing, you have to first initialize out. Here in for you have initialize here, condition also here, and increment also here. But in while you have to first initialize one statement, then your while will come where condition is given, the second one, and then your body of the loop with where you are calculating the sum of array elements. So sum of array elements, this is your statement. Like here the statement was printf and scanf. Here the statement is to calculate the sum. And here the increment was also done in the for loop, but here you have to also write the increment operator also to check that whether I has reached up to 20 or not. It will keep on incrementing, checking, keep on incrementing, checking, keep on incrementing, checking, and adding the sum of elements in the array. So repetitively the tasks are done until the condition is met, right? That is loops. That is also one of the things. Then you also have subroutine and function. So what is a function? Whenever we talk about a function is a set of statements, right? Set of instructions also you can say, right? Function is a set of instructions or set of statements. And what does function help in? Function or subroutines are sub-programs also. What are functions and subroutines? Sub-programs. Suppose if I make in a single program, different parts of the program in a single program, it will be very difficult for me to understand where your one part is starting and where your second part is starting, right? So what is better to do is make functions so your program is divided into subparts, right? Now if you want in your program anywhere that part to be called any number of times, so reusability of code is also there through functions. That means like in Excel, any number of time you can call the sum function or not, right?
Yes.
Right. So same way here also, any number of time you can call the function and you can use it only once you have to write the definition of the function, what it is doing, and you can call the function anywhere, any number of times. So that is known as a function. So repeating the same statement in a program each time makes the program lengthy and reduces readability, yes or no? Suppose you want the sum function to be first part of the program, then at the last part of the program, middle part of the program. So every time you write the same code, so what will happen to your program? It will become lengthy or not?
It will, ma'am.
Yes. So what we make is we make a function separately of the sum. I want sum to be calculated in the first part also, middle part also, last part also. So 3 times I won't write the code, right? So that will make our program lengthy. I will make a function separately for the sum, and whenever I want some function to be called, I will call that function. Only once you have to write the function and you will call the function and the function works, right? So that kind of a thing is done by your functions and subroutines.
Ma'am.
Anji.
Ma'am, जब हम लोग के पास फॉर लूप था तो while लूप बनाने का क्या जरूरत?
वाइल लूप बनाने का जरूरत नहीं, उन्होंने आपको 3 तरीके के लूप दिए हैं। देखो वाइल और डू वाइल में तो पता चल जाएगा आपको फर्क क्या है। अब फॉर लूप का ये फायदा है, जैसे आप एरेज में अगर यूज करो तो आप वाइल लूप को यूज नहीं करते हो, फॉर लूप को यूज करते हो। क्यों यूज करते हो पता है?
नहीं मैम।
क्योंकि उसमें आपका इनिशियलाइजेशन, कंडीशन और इंक्रीमेंट डिक्रीमेंट एक ही सेंटेंस में हो जाता है, आपको लिखना नहीं पड़ता अलग अलग जगह पे।
Ma'am, we can use while
You
loop
can
for
use while loop also.
conditions.
You can use while loop also.
But for loop
But वो
is more
vulgar हो
considerable.
जाएगा ना आपका।
No, we cannot implement conditions in for loop.
While you cannot, what condition you are saying?
While loops are basically used when we have to use loop for condition purpose.
No, there are conditions there. You see, this is your condition. Which condition you are telling?
No, no, I'm saying the difference between for loop and while loop is that while loop is used where we have to use any condition in a certain loop.
Are you
While
speaking
लूप
about
क्लियर
flexibility in
होगा,
calculation?
उसके बाद आराम से बोलो।
I think he is speaking about flexibility in calculations, so that in between you can change the conditions.
That is there, but generally when we want a faster kind of a thing, na,
Then we consider for loop.
then we consider for loop only, because that we don't have to write the initialization statement, then we write the file condition, then we write the statement of the loop statements, and then we increment or decrement also separately. So in one go only your things are done, right? They have given you these loops, and there is a difference between while and do while also, right? Do while you will use where for once you want that the statement of the loop should be run once, at least once it should run, and then the condition is checked, right? There is also a difference of entry control loop and exit control loop. Do you understand entry and exit? For loop and while loop both are entry control loop. What does that mean? At the entry only they will check whether that loop you can go inside the loop or not. Condition is given at the beginning only, na?
Yes.
So if I suppose I had been 21, I is initialized to 21. So 21 is less than 20. No, na? 21 is not less than 20. It will not go inside the loop only.
Okay.
Do you understand? So those loops where condition is checked at the start are known as entry control loop, and do while is the loop where your condition is checked at the end. Once these statements will run, and then your condition is checked at the end. That is do while loop. Do you understand? That is a exit control loop, not entry control loop.
Okay.
Like like you have a menu, you have created a menu 1 2 3 4 5, right? So you want first you say select menu item, so you select one, and then again it asks you to select menu item. So these kinds of things you can keep it in do while loop. Do you understand? Once the code runs, your menu is given, you choose the menu, then again it has to ask you choose another option. Choose another option, you have to give at the end exit condition that you again want the choice to be given to the user. So that kind of a loop you will use do while loop. Right? So do you understand functions, subprograms?
Yes.
Reusability and for not repeating unnecessarily same code unnecessarily, we write subprograms or functions or subroutines, right? So they make up one, once each piece is working correctly, then the pieces are integrated together to create the complete solution of the problem. So basically you have a main program and you have a function. And whenever you want in the main program that function to be called, then you just call that function and you integrate by calling that function and your program works. That is how functions are generally done. So you have to call that. So subroutine is a type of a subprogram, a piece of code within a larger program that performs a specific task and is relatively independent of the remaining code. So it is also called a procedure, routine, or a method also. Right? It's a piece of code. In a larger program, it is what? A piece of code, and it is independent of the remaining code. So that is a sub procedure. You can also have parameters in a function. Also, you can have parameters. So this is a subroutine. They have made a subroutine named sub1, A, B, C, and sum. And but in some language they have. I think it is in some language they have written real ABC, they have created a real values, and sum is A plus B plus C and return and end. This kind of a subroutine was earlier programming language had subroutines also. So those they are talking about. So this is how, and whenever you have to call this subroutine, just call sub1, ABC and some values. Here you have to pass the parameters. A value, B value, C value and sum. Here you have to pass the parameters. And what is function? The purpose of a function is to take a number of values or arguments, do some calculation with those arguments, return a single result. Right? So
सी लैंग्वेज में ये नहीं है मैम?
हाँ?
सी लैंग्वेज में नहीं है सबरूटीन?
सबरूटीन नहीं है, फंक्शन होता है सी में.
अच्छा.
Right. So here the function does some calculations and return a single value here. Right. So in C, function is written like this. There will be a return type, or your data type will be there for the function, right? And function's name and the argument list or the parameters which you need to pass, and this is the body of the function or statements which you have to write. So this is how you write a function. So suppose here, if you see, we are taken, this is our main function and this is our header file. We have declared two values, integer type x and y. We are saying enter the numbers. So they have put y's value is input by the user. So in y, the number is inputted, and x is equal to fun name y. So that means this fun name is a function, and where y's value is passed. So it will go to this function here. Right. So this is how you call a function. So x is equal to, x value will be equal to fun name y. So y value you have taken as input and you have passed this y to the function. So what does the function is doing is, the data type of the function is integer. That means in x an integer value will be there, and fun name is the name of the function, and int a is the parameter of the function. So y, whatever value you have passed in y will go to this a, right, integer type. And what it is doing is, if a modulus 2, that means the y's value is divided by 2 and the remainder is 0 and it is equal to 0, then it will return 1, else it will return 0. Right. And here x will have that value 1 or 0. Do you understand? Right. Now if x is equal to 1, that means the number is even, and if it is 0, then what number is odd. Do you understand? The same function, even and odd, we have made a function of that. So this is a function. This was main body. Here we have called the function, and this is our function declaration. Any problems?
No, ma'am.
And you also have library functions also, like I talked about that your header file stdio.h have certain library functions which you can use, like printf and scanf, right? What are printf and scanf? They are your functions. They are also functions, and they are predefined functions or library functions which are available. So you have library functions also. You understand or not?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So another part of the thing is your editor, assembler, interpreter, and compiler, which we talked about earlier also. Right? What is an editor? Editor is a application
Code
where you
लिखने वाला.
write your program. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Where you write the program is the editor, and assembler, interpreter, and compiler are those applications which interpret your program. From the editor, they take the source code and interpret the code into from high level language to machine code. Do you understand? And when it is converted to machine code or object code, you can say, in object code they are linked with the library files and library functions and all that, and then they become an executable file, and then they are executed or run. So this happens in every programming language. Do you understand? Right. What are assemblers used for? Assemblers are used for, there was, after machine language, there was a language called assembly language, which was near to the machine language, but it was written in mnemonics or similar to a little English alphabets were there and registers were used in that. So assembly to convert assembly language program into machine language, you required assembler. So assembly language was a low level programming language, and to convert it into machine language, you wanted what did you wanted? An assembler. To convert an assembly language program to a machine code, assembler was used, right? So it used to translate the program, right? And then you also have, for other programming languages, that is high level languages, you have two kind of translators, that is compilers and interpreters. So what compiled language are C, C++, Pascal, these are compiled languages. So what does a compiler do? It converts a high level language into machine code, right? Right or wrong?
Right, ma'am.
And what does an interpreter do? It also converts a high level language into machine code, but both of them have a difference. What difference it is? That
Compiler
compiler
एक बार में
compiles
पूरा.
all the program in one go. Interpreter interprets line by line, right? And the interpreter based languages are basic, Prolog, Perl, Python is also interpreter based, right? And compiled code runs faster because it finds all the errors in one go and does not need the compiler at runtime, whereas interpreter code is slower and needs the interpreter every time the program has to be run, right? So this is what the difference is in both. Any problems in this?
No, ma'am.
These are your check progress questions also they have given, right? Then another unit of your this is computer applications, that is they are talking about your open source. We have already talked about that. So what was the concept of open source? The best known philosophers for the free software movement besides Richard Stallman are Eric Lehman, Bruce Perens, and Evan Moglen. So these are, apart from Richard M. Stallman in 1983, he was the philosopher who his philosophy was that to give free softwares or to have free software in the market. So this was his idea. So and other persons also joined, which they have given Eric Raymond and all that names are there. So they created in 1998 a community was created for this, which is known as Open Source Initiative (OSI). Right. So opensource.org is the website for OSI organization, which decides which software should be open source and what is the criteria. So what should be the free software definition is freedom to run the program for any purpose, freedom to study how the program works and adapt it to your needs, freedom to redistribute copies so you can help your neighbor, freedom to improve the program and release your improvement to the public so that the whole community benefits. So this was the main definition of a free software. And open source definition, see, free software, do you understand? There are two terms, free software and open source definition. Free software and open source software. Do you understand? Free software means on any program you can run, for any purpose you can run, you can study the program and you can adapt to it, you can redistribute it, give it to anybody, right? That is a free software. And what
For
does
example, ma'am?
There are many free softwares available, na? Also. For example, what example should I give?
WinZip.
WinZip for certain part it is free, and if you want more facilities, then you have to pay for that particular license.
Ma'am, all the applications on Play Store, the games
on
and the
the
applications.
yes, on all the applications on the Play Store are generally free. Some of them are paid, right? Google Play Store, some of the applications are generally free. Most of them are generally free, right? You download and install on your mobile or not freely?
Yeah, ma'am.
So those are free software. And open source software are what? They are first of all promoted by OSI, and they have free distribution, source code available, derivative works permitted, integrity of the author's source, no discrimination against person or group, no discrimination against field or endeavor, distribution of license with derivative works, license must not be specific to a product, license must not restrict use of other software, license must be technological natural. So basically, you can either redistribute it freely. You can redistribute once you have bought the one source code. You have bought one source code. You can implement in your own way, make your own kind of a software, and then you can redistribute the software freely, or you can also make the licensed software for that. That is open source. So generally, it is not that all the open source software will be given to you freely only. Paid open source softwares are also there, right? So that is open source. So they have given you when the open source software development was done. So all the users users are also treated as co-developers in open source, right? Because they also have their own suggestions and they also add their own code or something in the some releases are first version is of the software is released and the co-workers or the users work on them and they implement something, and then the second version or beta version, alpha version, these versions are released. So that kind of a thing is also there in your open source software. Then open source licensing. So license defines the right and obligation that license grants to a licensee. So open source license is also there, that you will who will use it and how many people can use it, or you can redistribute it. So these are there. So there are certain open source projects also like apache.org. Under that also licenses are there, right? So there are other licenses: Apache license, BSD license, GNU general public license, GNU lesser general public license, MIT license, Ellipse public license, Mozilla public license. So there are free software licenses also, or open source licenses also, which you can redistribute and make your own. So these are open source softwares. Then do you know about project management software? What are project management used for?
No, ma'am.
So project management software is a kind of a software where you can plan, organize and manage your resources, like your business thing you can manage. You can schedule the task of your employees. You can do planning of the business and all that. So those kinds of software are known as project management software. Do you understand? Right? So what are the they can, your project initiation stage, design stage, planning, implementation, monitoring, completion stage are handled. Those kinds of software are known as project management. Yeah. So project manager will handle those. So for example, the project management software here, see what does the project management software do? You can do scheduling. That means what events will occur when, right? What will be the critical path? How much time you will need to complete a task? What is the end date of that task? So scheduling will be done. So all these things are handled. Timesheet management is there, that all the employees timesheet will be there, that this time this will be working, or customer project will be completed in this time, whatever timesheet will be there. So though these things are in your project management. So there are tools for project management. So software tools like this in your desktop application, you have MS Project, that is Microsoft Project is one of the example. Gantt Project is another example, desktop applications. And web-based services, you have iTeamwork as a web-based service which provides you project management facilities. And web-based systems also have MS Project software, or dot project is also there. So in your thing, they are showing you how Microsoft Office project works. If you have installed Microsoft Office on your system, so you the full version of Microsoft Office, then you have one of the option as Microsoft Project also in that, if you see. So MS Project 2007, they are showing you how to create and schedule projects. They are telling you this is how you open the project and how you put the start date and finish date, schedule from what, current date, status and all that. These things are given here. You don't have to learn them. They are just given. You should know what software is used for what purpose. That's all. Right. A question in assignment may also be asked, or in exam may also be asked. For such kind, suppose they will say that for an organization you want to plan, schedule and make a timesheet and all that. So what kind of software you will use? So you will use a project management software. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's why they are telling you these softwares, right? So that is your project management software. Then often in office applications, you want to edit a document. Then what software will you use? You want to edit a document? Word processing software, right? MS Word like.
MS Word.
Right? So
Yes,
for
ma'am.
editing a document, formatting it, printing, whatever, you will require a word processing, or Microsoft Word will be your software for that. So they are showing you Microsoft Word. We'll do that in practical. Microsoft Word will do that in practical only. I'm just telling you the things. You can create a table. You can have images on your table. You can edit a document, write content. You can mail merge also. So these are the things you can do. And if you want to have a column and row form data, charts, you want to make charts, you want to calculate mathematical things, you want to have statistical analysis, business calculations, then what software will you use? A spreadsheet.
MS Excel.
Right, MS Excel. A spreadsheet software will be there, so Excel you will use. Right, so this is your Excel, which we'll learn Excel in the practical sessions. Right, so that is there. So there are many functions in Excel. There are arithmetic functions, text functions, mathematical functions, statistical functions. So there are functions you also have charting option in that. You can also have macros macros are simple text code which can be run on the Excel. So that is also there. Then if you want to store data for your customers, for your whatever, then what would you use? You want to keep student data somewhere. So what will you use? You will use a database. A database is a software which is a relational software which keeps data in the form of tables right? Do you understand? So database software is used for storing data. Like when you fill a form for admission in this BCAOL, right? So you must have filled a form with your name and your educational qualification, and you have attached your scanned copies or whatever you have done, right? So the data must be saved somewhere, right or wrong?
Right.
Right. So that data, where it gets stored in the database server of IGNOU. Right. So you will require a database software. So you have different kinds of database software. Like you can have Oracle, you can have MS Access. MS Access is the one which is provided in your MS Office package, right? So that is, you can create a database in MS Access. You can keep the record of students in that database. So that is another kind of software, right? So we'll talk about that also in the practicals. So you can make reports, you can query from the database, also find out data. Then you also have emailing facility also, right? What does email help you in? Electronic mail?
Communication or sharing the data.
Yeah. So or you can send your mails or send your things in a fast mode through emails, right? So in your Microsoft Office, you have MS Outlook for your emails, right? So you can set reminders, you can maintain contacts, you can send attachments, whatever, you can schedule appointments in that. So that is one of the things you can use. That is your Outlook. That will also we learn in the practical session. So you can have scheduling and arrangement. So these are the different types of software which you should know. This is what your unit told had. You understand? Any problems in this?
No, ma'am. No problem so far.
Let us see what was the check progress in this. It is saying, is it possible to import data from Excel into Access?
Yes, in certain formats.
You can import. There is an option for importing data from Excel to Access or Access to Excel also.
Even I've seen multiple types. You can import.
Yeah, you can import in any other formats also, to PDF also, to whatever form it can be. So that can also be done. What is the signature of an email message?
नीचे में जो नाम लिखा रहता है email ID.
Email ID. Yes.
Yes, generally it is email ID. But you can also create your signature format in that, where at the bottom will be with regards this. You can create in that in your email also.
Is the blue highlighted?
Generally it is the email ID. So is it possible to get a delivery receipt from the email recipient?
Yes, sometimes if you type a wrong email ID, you get a reminder that it was not sent. So it may act like a receipt.
But
There is
generally
an
you will
option
not
where
get
we
it.
can select it.
You can check it in the sent mail.
Yes, you can check that, of course, but if it does not get delivered, it gives you a reminder that something went wrong.
It will give you that the email has been bounced or
Yes.
not delivered. Which of the following entry will be best entered as an event in your calendar? A party that occurs from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m, birthday, a visit to the dentist. Which of the following entry will be best entered as an event in your calendar?
As an event, it will be a birthday.
Right.
But to be like obvious, all three things can be mentioned.
Yeah, all three things can be mentioned. So you can go through these check progress questions also. See here it is written, yes, it is possible to import data from Excel Workbook into Access 2010. This can be done by copying data from an open worksheet and pasting it into Access data sheet. Or you can also press the import in the existing table also. So signature is the way the sender's name will appear at the end of the message. One can create a default, which I told you, you can create a default signature also, right? So your name will, with regards or whatever will come at the bottom. So these are the things you should know, the softwares and all that. Is there a problem in this? I don't think so. In softwares and all, there is any problem. You just need to know which software is used for what purpose, and if you are asked a question, so you should answer that in objectives, right?
Understood, ma'am.
So this was your block 2, right? And then, हाँ जी बोलिए.
एक चीज पूछ सकते हैं अगर आप?
बोलिए.
मैम सर थोड़ा थोड़ा सा ही बीच में हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन कर देते ना तो फील आ जाता, हल्का सा थोड़ा थोड़ा.
नहीं, मैं इसलिए नहीं करती हूँ बिकॉज लास्ट टाइम ऑल्सो जब इंडक्शन हुआ था तो उन्होंने बोला था कि मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ टाइम यू शुड बी इन इंग्लिश बिकॉज सम पीपल आर फ्रॉम साउथ ऑल्सो, so they will not be able to understand Hindi at all. इसलिए मैं पूरा इंग्लिश में रखती हूँ. तो आप बता दो कि क्या चीज आपको नहीं समझ में आई इंग्लिश में, आप बता देना मुझे, मैं आपको बता दूंगी हिंदी में. जो चीज आपको समझ में नहीं आई इंग्लिश में, आई विल टेल यू इन, मतलब हिंदी में बता दूंगी, आप पूछ लेना. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, राइट?
ठीक है.
एनीथिंग एल्स?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I am a bit confused about which assignment I should work on.
Which
Assignment I should work on.
What does
Yes,
that
ma'am.
mean? You are confused on which assignment to work on. What does that mean?
Ma'am, I went to the website that were mentioned, but there are a lot of them with different years. Which years should I do?
So 2022, Jan 2022.
Okay, ma'am.
But you must have got it in your LMS portal also, na, the assignment?
Yes, ma'am.
So download that assignment from the LMS portal. Why are you going to the website? It will be January 2022 assignment only, which is given in your LMS. You log into your LMS, and in the assignment section, you will get your assignments in PDF format. There you can download.
Understood, ma'am.
The last date is extended up to 15th of May, and you have to submit your assignments also online on the LMS portal only.
यस मैम, बट LMS पर अपडेट नहीं हुआ है, तो 31st के बाद भी अपलोड हो सकता है ना?
31st of what?
31st अप्रैल.
31st तो है नहीं है, 30th है, लेकिन 30 आप 15 मई तक कभी भी कर सकते हो ना. ये थोड़ी आपको जबरदस्ती बोला है कि वो अभी कर दो या 30 तारीख को कर दो.
नहीं, LMS में वो निकल तो नहीं जाएगा ना.
15th of May 2022 is the last date to submit. अभी तक वो है extended date. समझ गए?
बट वो LMS से तो
अप्रैल 28 को कर दो, 30 को कर दो, 1 मई को कर दो, 4 मई को कर दो, 5 मई को कर दो, डजंट मैटर.
यस मैम, बट मैम LMS पर अपडेट नहीं हुआ है, इसलिए हमने पूछा.
अगर
कोई
ऑप्शन
प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, तुम कर देना.
मैम LMS में लेकिन काउंटडाउन शुरू हुआ है ना. इट इज शोइंग 3 days लेफ्ट फॉर सबमिटिंग द असाइनमेंट्स.
अगर ऐसा है तो मैं उनको बता दूंगी इग्नू अथॉरिटीज को कि दिस इज व्हाट इज.
ऐसा ना हो कि
मैम सम कोर्सेज पे सबमिट बटन नहीं शो हो रहा है, मतलब असाइनमेंट सबमिट करने का बटन जैसे इंग्लिश में नहीं शो हो रहा है.
किसमें?
इंग्लिश जो हम लोग का कोर्स है उसमें सबमिट असाइनमेंट सबमिट करने का.
प्रॉब्लम है, सबमिट बटन नहीं आ रहा है.
40% है.
मैम एक्चुअली जो इंग्लिश का असाइनमेंट है उसमें सबमिट की जगह हम दूसरों को ग्रेड देने वाला पोर्टल खुल रहा है हम लोगों का.
कुछ का तो आ ही नहीं रहा था ना FEG।
यस मैम।
हाँ, अभी भी नहीं आ रहा वो FEG।
वो धीरे धीरे वो अपडेट करेंगे ना, वो उसकी टेंशन मत लो। इवन इफ इट इज टेलिंग यू कि वो अपडेट नहीं हुआ है या जो भी है, वो 15 तारीख तक अपने आप चला जाएगा। और वो अगर काउंटडाउन शुरू भी है तो भी कोई टेंशन मत लो, वो अपने आप करेंगे। ठीक टीचर्स
ठीक है मैडम, अगर नहीं
तुम्हें
किया तो
टाइम
फिर
देंगे,
प्रॉब्लम हो
वो तुम्हें
जाएगा।
टाइम देंगे, बिकॉज दैट इज नॉट योर प्रॉब्लम, वो उनका प्रॉब्लम है।
Yes.
वो वैसे भी मैंने उन्हें कन्वे कर दिया। तुम्हें शायद गूगल फॉर्म भी आया था सबको अपनी क्वेरी डालने का कि तुम्हें क्या नहीं आ रहा है और किसका लॉगिन नहीं हो रहा है और किसका कौन सा कोर्स कोड नहीं आ रहा है। आया था ना गूगल फॉर्म?
हाँ मैम, आया था।
So if you have put everything there, so no problem, you will get the time to do everything. उसकी फिक्र मत करो, अपने आप वो अपने आप सॉर्ट आउट करेंगे। मैं वैसे उन्हें बता दूंगी कि कुछ का सबमिट बटन नहीं आ रहे हैं, कुछ कोर्स कोड्स में असाइनमेंट सबमिट के, और दूसरा काउंटडाउन दिखा रहा है वो कि 3 days लेफ्ट और व्हाटएवर, राइट?
यस मैम।
Okay, ma'am.
Anything
ठीक
else?
है मैम, या थैंक यू।
Tomorrow we will be doing networks. That will be your block 3. That is also important thing in your computer basics and BC software. So about networking we will learn what are networks and what are the different types of networks and all that, right? So that is also important, right? So we'll do that tomorrow, right?
Yes.
From I think 28th, tomorrow is 28th, na?
Yes.
Yes,
your
ma'am.
English class started on 21st, right? Then 20, today is your last English class.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then from tomorrow
ma'am.
I think your Eco 01 will start. That is your business organization,
Yes, ma'am.
right? After my class, your Eco 01 will start. That is your business organization. So that also you can attend, right? So I'm leaving right now, right? You can join by 7 for your English class. All those who have not put their attendance in the chat box, please write your name and enrollment number. Anybody left?
Yes, ma'am. How do I put my attendance?
I've told you, na, put your enrollment number and name on the chat box.
Understood, ma'am.
Who is writing this story? Rohit. Anybody left for not who has not written his enrollment number or name?
Just a minute, ma'am. I'm doing it right now.
Remember, every day you have to put your name and enrollment number in the chat box. Remember that for attendance.
If we mention at the start of the class, do we have to then?
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
If we have enrollment number and name at the start of the class, do we have to?
So in the other class you will mention there also. In my class you have to mention in my class also.
No. For the same class, I am asking. Like I have put the beginning of
same class. What does that? Once only you have to put your name and enrollment number, not twice.
Okay.
Have you written your enrollment number or name? Should I end the class now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, it's done.
Done. I have not got it here. On the chat
I
box.
just sent it, ma'am.
Sent it where?
In the chat box, it is in the chat box.
Lalit. Okay. Now it's there. Okay, fine. Then we'll meet tomorrow. Okay, take care. Bye.
Sure.
Bye.
140 में
Bye,
कैसा
bye. जी, बोलिए।
नहीं
कौन बोल रहा था? Okay, bye. Take care then.
बाय बाय
गजब बेइज्जती है यार।